name is Sandra Cabrera. I am Bronx Community 7's district manager. Today's date is January 3rd, 2024. I will begin by reading our guidelines and content. Bronx Community Board of 7 has the right to remove and or ask a member of the public to leave the meeting for the participation of anyone who engages in an inappropriate conduct, including but not limited to obscene or offensive posters and language, personal attacks, threats, or any other behavior that reasonably impedes the orderly administration of the meeting. The board's executive committee and or other assigned committee will review their offenses and or behavior and ban the offenders for an amount of time determined by the committees. If the in-person efforts or attacks continue, this will be considered disturbing the peace and the authority by the seven. I will now begin the public hearing. I will start by calling our council member hearing session.
This is when they are. I don't post them online, but you get to see them here. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy New Year. This is on.
Hello?
All right. Happy New Year, everybody. All and Leanne, let's see if we can do this. Thank you. So I thank you for letting me go first. I have to to bed. Let's see. Will not have my phone on the floor. You probably will. So just a couple of updates. We're starting we're starting the year off strong with the Kingsbridge Armory. So the deadline for the RFP was January 18th. EDC, who is receiving the RFP responses, you know, it's a competition now. So we had the community engagement process. 4,000 of you all came out. The mayor and the governor came together to announce $200 million of seed funding for whatever investment. And then the competition opened. So the competition deadline was last week the 18th, because today is not the 18th. And so all that they're saying at this point, it's a very legal process, and they are not allowed to tell anybody that is not within the agency anything about the competitors. And so we just know that we have a handful of very strong applicants and applications. So we're very excited to see that. There's never a dull moment in District 14, as you all know, and thank you for being by our side. Thank you to my incredible team for always just being there when we need to. We had a building collapse in District 14, as you know, at 1915 Billingsley Terrace. I'm very proud. I was downtown in a Democratic conference reviewing some of the legislation that you might have questions about. We were in a Democratic conference. And so my team was there right after the firefighters. And I was there 40 minutes later because I left the Dem conference. And I know I got a lot of questions like, why are you there? You're not a firefighter, you're not a cop, like, what are you gonna do? And so the reality is that when situations like this, whether it's a fire or a building collapse, God forbid we have any more of those, and I'm working on legislation on that front. But when those things happen, the community needs a lot of support, right? The impacted individuals and families need a lot of support. So we were there to tell people what comes next, where are you gonna stay tonight, or what's happening next week, the next 2 weeks. And it's been a month. It's been a month and a half, actually. And at this point, it's a second home. Our office is a second home for the 1915 Billingsley tenants because they're taking legal action against the owner who has them living in deplorable conditions, right? So it's you know, something that we don't want to see is an emergency like this happen. But at the same time, it's also an opportunity for people to see their power, what happens when you come together. And so Legal Aid Society is supporting them in each action against the owner. And it's just been it's been very uplifting to see them find their power and support them in that, and get a lot of legislative ideas for how do we make sure that what happened there never happens again. Now, what happened there is a big question. People are like, is my building next? So what happened there was that the preliminary analysis is that the building engineer misclassified a structural facade. So the buildings were, the bricks were literally holding up the building. got misclassified. You had workers pulling those bricks, and the front of the building came down. Right, so that is an engineer error, but that is the preliminary analysis. There's still a lot more investigation to do. The district attorney's office is looking into it. So just very, very grateful for all the levels of government coming together there. But you know, good things also happened in 2023. We had 6,000 individuals come to our office. So we're lucky enough to be supported, right? So I'm saying. We're lucky to be supported and work with a lot of legal service providers. And it's just, you know, there's only so much that I have 2 constituent services staffers. Adrian is somehow everywhere, okay? So they work all day and they come to the community and, from Councilmember Felice's office, you know what the life is like. But we also supplement our services with the help of our nonprofits. We passed a lot of impactful legislation, a lot of which we're actually arguing with the mayor about at this time. What I'm most proud of and will continue to fight is the expansion of PEPS voucher. The PEPS vouchers help people to pay their rent, so that you don't have to pay an eviction, you don't have to be in a homeless shelter, you can stay in a community. So we're gonna continue to fight that because it's gonna help. It's gonna help our community and it's gonna stabilize us. And lastly, I want to end it there. Of course, you know that my office has services. We're open without appointment from Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. But we're around, so call us if those times don't work for you. And like I said, we have legal services at our office. But I just wanted to offer to answer any questions. I know the council voted to pass the How Many Stops Act, which would impact reporting by the NYPD. But it is controversial. The mayor has vetoed the legislation that would require NYPD to report 5 or 6 very, very basic questions. I know. 5 or 6 very basic questions about encounters that are investigative in nature. Not, hey, how are you doing? Where's the train station? That does not have to be reported. There's been a lot of misinformation about that. So I just wanted to provide an opportunity if anybody has questions. Thank you for letting me go first. Thank you, Anya, for being with me. And good to see everybody.
All right, next we have Congressman Richie Torres.
Thank you very much. Just wanted to do a recap of our offices. The year in review 2023. We had 2,645 constituent cases assisted. The Congressman was able to secure $10 million in loans for small businesses, $6 million for 10 bus stop renovations along Northern Avenue, $50 million for Fordham University for environmental justice programs, $150 million for the Cross Bronx Expressway, $25 million for FEMA refunds to Montefiore, $15 million for Bronx community projects, $800,000 for hydroponic classrooms in the Bronx, and $1.178 million for youth employment with the Wildlife Conservation Society in the Bronx Zoo. And there's flyers on the table in the back. February 3rd, the Bronx Zoo will be hiring, they're going to what they call jobs, internships, volunteers, and education. And they're going to be having an event at the zoo on February 3rd. There's flyers in the back for people 16 to 24 years old to get jobs. The Bronx Zoo is the #1 jobs provider in the Bronx, and Congressman Torres was proud to help support them in hiring Bronx. Thank you very much, and have a great evening.
Thank you, Ron. Next, we have the mayor's office. The NYPD Public Advocate's office.
Hi, everyone. So first off, Happy New Year's. Hope everyone had some great holidays.
So just a few updates from our office. The council member already spoke a little bit about some of the legislations that I'm gonna talk about. But yeah, it was a big year, for the public advocate. We passed in total, 11 bills before the year ended, including public safety bills, bills on, housing safety, environmental protection, assistance for, homeless New Yorkers, and bills to help veterans access the services that they need. So two of the big legislations that I want to highlight are Intro 586, which is the How Many Stops Act. And if anyone has any questions about that, I do not have my cards with me, but I'm happy to give out our phone numbers, and you can call our office for more information. But that bill will essentially require NYPD to report on all level 1, level 2, and level 3 stops. So just, this is a measure that the public advocate proposed for, you know, basic accountability, data transparency, and another bill that was introduced and passed by the city council was Intro 549, which is a bill to ban solitary confinement in Rikers Island. Both bills have been vetoed by the mayor, and so our office is now working with the rest of the council to ensure that these bills get passed in this new legislative session. Just double check that I didn't miss anything. And finally, in December, the public advocate also released the annual worst landlord watch list. So you can check if your landlord is listed on there at landlordwatchlist.com. And for anyone who wants to ask any questions, our office, you can call us at 212-669-7250. That's 212-669-7250. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we have the New City Controller's Office.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ruben. I'm the Bronx Borough Director for the New City Controller's Office. We actually have here my colleague Edward Perez. He's from our Labor Law Department. He's going to just talk briefly about availability.
Thank you very much, Gary, and thank you, CSF, for this. I want to express what we do at Bureau of Labor Law of the Office of Municipal Controllers, Redlander. Basically, the bottom line is that we recover student wages, and we've done a lot of that from the contractors that do not pay what's called prevailing wage or living wage, whatever you want to call it. Basically, the controller has the mandate of enforcing this loss of prevailing wage, and since Redlander came to the controller's office, we've also expanded our scope. We used to be only labor law, now we're labor law and workers' rights, and we have this ambition to cover other aspects of labor law, not only this very important one, which is recovery stolen wages and benefits. So what I do as director of outreach controllers is procure basic form and presentations. These presentations can be as long as or short as you want them. And basically talk to anyone who wants to listen to either non-profit organizations, elected officials, whoever will be also. This is an opportunity to expand this presentation. I have a PowerPoint, we can adapt it to the need. Basically exploring what we do, how we do it, what's the real impact of these wages that are higher than the minimum wage, and that's why it's crime around it. We call it that, and a lot of exploitation of immigrants, and a lot of exploitation of minorities. So that's basically what we do, and also for once we're there, I can give you a sentence of what we do at the controllers, so you have a clarity of what other services your constituents can access to those. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we have a Bronx Borough President's Office.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Kira again, and I'm the director of Bronx Community Boards. It's my first meeting here at City 7, so it's good to see you all. I was formerly the district manager of Community Board 8, so I worked closely with your office for many years. I'm happy to announce that our Community Board application for 2024 is now live. That will be for board members who are up for reappointment. I'll be sending you guys an email with a letter attached letting you know that you're up for reappointment. And then we're looking for new members from the public to apply to the boards. It's electronic, it's in English and Spanish. We're the only borough to have a dual language application, so it's something that we're really proud of. And the deadline will be March 1st. Thank you. I have nothing.
Next, we have Bronx District Attorney's Office.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? All right, I'll be very brief. We have 3 announcements to talk about. So the youth council for the DA's office was pushed back, so the deadline will be 26th of January. So 2 more days. We have 69 registrants right now. We would like to get a scope of the Bronx from different districts. So CB9, CB7, 5, 2, 4, etc. So you have more time for you to sign up. The flyers here. The next felony youth trial, felony trial training. So basically, anyone who wants to volunteer as a mock juror on the 29th of January, I say it's Monday actually. Basically, you're training the new ADAs how to select jurors from the Bronx. So the best way to learn about Bronx jurors is talk to people in the Bronx, right? The last event, sorry, one more. Re-entry fair, January 30th, next Tuesday. Anyone just impacted, anyone released from jail, came back from prison, family members locked up, whatever. Basically, we're offering the resources, resume writing, cover letter writing. We're gonna have organizations to help with interview skills. We're gonna have DMV, IDNYC, anyone who wants to get ID or want to figure out what's holding them back to get ID. Someone at the Bronx River will help you out. The next thing is identification. So I said DMV, IDNYC. So if you recently released from prison with your release document and your release ID, they'll help you get an ID, a state ID. That's big. So the big thing when you come out from jail is trying to find jobs. Without ID, without cover letters, or without resumes, it's hard to get those things accomplished. So the next re-entry fair we're gonna have is gonna be in May. I'm jumping the gun a little bit. It'll be in May. The focus is gonna be solely on housing and healthcare. So 3 flyers are here. I have cards. Any questions? I'll be on the side. I'll be here all night. Any questions for me? No, thank you very much.
Thank you, Trevor. Next, we have the 52nd precinct. Good evening, everyone.
Don't really have much to report today besides Thursday is our community council meeting. It is going to be 100 West Cambridge Avenue. So if you guys want to attend that meeting and address your concerns or any issues you have, you show up at that 7.
Thank you, Officer. Next, we have New York State Senator Gustavo Rivera's office.
you. Good evening, everyone. So I will start off with two big wins that we had in 2023. These were my favorite. There's probably more, but these are some of my top two. On December 13, Governor Hochul signed his law Senator Bear's bill that prohibits hospital healthcare providers and ambulances from reporting medical debt to credit agencies. The second win is that undocumented seniors can now apply to Medicaid. This was a partial win for coverage for all. We're still working this session to pass coverage for all. Hopefully, Governor Hochul, sign it. I do want to share with you a couple of events. First, we have our DOF screening day, where we help folks apply for SPRE, DRE, and SHE. We've acquired since January 2022, 2023, apologies. Big part of homeowners, especially in the Riverdale section, but also our Bronx part E section. So we're also doing this for our homeowners. This will be on Friday, February 2nd at POTS. It's near our district office, 2450 Grand Concourse. You'll need to memorize it. All the flyers are in the front. The second event is that we're really proud to partner with HRA to host a benefits day. We will be assisting with one-shot deal applications, SNAP applications, cash assistance, Medicaid, which is one of the things that we heard most throughout the 2023 year in review that our constituents needed. So please stop by our office. This will be held on Thursday, February 8th, our district office. The last event is we've also partnered once again with HRA for Fair Payers Enrollment Day. This will be once again in our district office, and all the 3 flyers are in the desk. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Next, we have State Senator Robert Jackson.
Hey everyone, my name is Carrie Figueroa. I'm a community liaison at State Senator Robert Jackson's office. I'd like to report that Senator Jackson back in Albany the legislative session and looks forward to continuing to advocate for his constituents in safety, public safety reform, health, education. Also, I'd like to report that we started our tennis rights clinic with Med Council. The next session is February 13th. In collaborations with New York Cares, our office has donated coats to school pantries at PS4 and PS132, and we'll do the next one on January 25th. Also, the senator has participated in the mayoral control of our public school system. He strongly encourages people to participate. This is for students to make sure that they have a better opportunity and to make sure that our parents are involved in our children's health care. Also, we'd like to let you know that the senator is also he's also encouraging parents to participate in the panel for education policy to ensure parent involvement. Our constituent hours are from 9 to 5, no appointment is needed. It's at 5030 Broadway, and our telephone number is 212-544-0173. Again, that's what I have to report. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Next, we have our council member, Nicholas.
Oh. Everyone. Hey, good evening, everyone. Good to see everyone. Hope you're doing well. This is the first meeting of the year, so I can still say Happy New Year. I'm going to share 2 things. One's very short, one's a little longer, but it's very important. The first is that I'm very excited because this year we're starting to do something in my office that we've been planning for a while. We're having city agencies come to our office. If you subscribe to my newsletter, you would have seen last week we had Department of Veteran Services. We had veterans come in and get direct services from our city services right in my office.
Today we had West Bronx housing, we had people get help with rental arrears, tenant disputes. And Friday, we are having the Department of Finance. For that, we need to make an appointment. If you need rent freeze applications, we help with that. If you're having issues with taxes or anything like that, please make an appointment. But now, the thing I'm really excited to talk about is the How Many Stops Act. How many of you saw me on the cover with your post yesterday? This is a very unflattering picture of all of us, and it was talking about how much we hate the police and how much we love crime. All that's a bunch of nonsense. So if you haven't heard the bill, you will not understand what we're talking about. But I'll say it very clearly. We passed a bill in the city council, which pretty much says the police have to report to us and you, the public, anytime they stop someone for questioning. What's happening now, for years, they've been stopping for stop and frisk. There were lawsuits that put a federal monitor in place. There are different levels of stops. And for the past over 10 years, the federal monitor and the city council have worked on legislation and policies to make sure the NYPD was transparent and make sure the stops in conducting are constitutional. So the level 3 stops to the stop and frisk. And for over 10 years, there's been a law which said the NYPD has to report anytime they stop and frisk someone. And they have to report on anonymized information, but they have to tell us what that looks like. The level 1 and 2 stops are these lower level stops. And they include if they are suspicious of criminal activity. You may have read in the post if someone asks for directions, that's level 1 stop. That's line number 1. The police do not have to report to us when someone asks for directions. They do not have to report how to the weather. Those are things they don't have to report. But they do have to report if they stop someone and are questioning them for any investigative purpose. The reason for this is there are a lot of people, particularly people of color, young Black men, who are being stopped, and we don't have any data to talk about this. We have stories of people's accounts, we have videos of it, but we don't have data. And so what this data will allow us to do is allow us to have community conversations about what the stops look like in our communities. Now, the bill does ask the NYPD to report on the apparent race, gender, and age of the person they stop. But they're not required to ask people that information. So some of the things you may have read in the papers say, oh, they're gonna have to ask people a litany of questions about their whole information. It's not true. And the bill says, so an officer already right now stops someone to question them, but the biggest question we get is, will this cause a lot of paperwork? Will this cause so much backlighting paperwork? It takes so much time away from policing? No. I want my police on the street. I want them responding to all of our 911 and 311 calls. Right now, the NYPD, the police, are supposed to turn on their body worn camera anytime they engage in investigative encounter. That's level 1, 2, and 3. They turn it on, they do their thing, and they go back after their tour, they dock that camera. And they are supposed to go through their video already without this go through their video and in the video, whether it's level 1, 2, or 3 stop. And already for level 2 stops, they're already documenting the race and gender of the person they stopped. Our bill simply asks them to include a little bit more information and to share with the public, to share with all of us, so that we as a community can have a better insight into what our police are doing, what those stops, what those questioning, what that looks like, and so we can have community conversations. And to me, that is the job of the council. That is why so many of you, I think, voted for me and elected me to hold all of our city agencies accountable, to work with them, but also to provide that oversight. What we are looking at now is a veto override, because the mayor and the police department are top. The mayor vetoed the bill. And he or the New York Post or top people in the NYPD, some of them are saying things that are either untrue or are misleading people to think that police will not have time to be here at our political meetings or on the streets or working with us in the community, or will disincentivize them from doing the police work we so value that they do. Again, this bill simply asks the NYPD to share with us and all of you information. They're mostly already collected, and perhaps a few more pieces of information so we can better as a community talk about the work we're doing and better understand what they're doing. So we are set, we are overriding the mayor's veto of this How Many Stops Act. And I really just came to talk to you all about that tonight. And all the rest of the stuff, I encourage you to follow me on social media, on my newsletter. You may notice that I'm not dressed as I usually am in a nice tie, because tonight at 10 p.m. there's the Hope Count. And you may have seen it on social media or in my newsletter. We are going out. I have seen 7 people of my staff going out and counting the people who are living on the street. We're doing a survey of them along with over 100 people from our community. The Department of Social Services is happening all over the city. I felt like this suit wasn't the best attire for that, so I apologize for quoting. I don't know if there are questions about the bill or questions about the work I'm doing, but I did want to come by and say Happy New Year, tell you about the bill, and encourage you to sign up for the newsletter at eric.nyc/newsletter. Thank you.
And the city council is now in the process of going to override the veto, and we have to go through that. When will this go into effect?
When will it go into effect? That I would have to look at the bill. It's not, none of these things are ever immediate. One of the important things is that, the NYPD is saying, oh, this is a million years of paperwork. And first of all, it's no paper, it's all digital. But second, the implementation of this really is up to the NYPD. So I believe it's 6 months. And in that 6 months, the NYPD, as the one who administers this program and shares the information, is able to, I know the courts still and advocates want to work with them, but they can determine what makes the most sense for the implementation of it. But if my memory serves me, it's 6 months.
I've seen you put out a lot of things about President Alzheimer's, like you haven't heard history, more than 30,000 customers in also, we have journalists for perspective. So they're going against their own rules to connect and you say, come on, but would you work to be out there and take out of the deal? Are you going to put that? That's if it's fine, not why the entire house how would you justify? How would you justify? Thousands of men and women. That is not. Yes, we have more housing, we have Christians who are speak in does their life not contribute? Because all I'm seeing is why not does their life contribute?
So we're very clear. I think anytime there's death anywhere, it's hard, and I certainly don't support dying. There are 2 parts to this question, and one is we touch on. We are seeing a staggering increase in hate crimes here in New York City. I know in the Jewish population you're seeing over 400% was the last number I see, and that is the community that's seen the greatest increase since October 7th. Of hate crimes and acts of violence. So when we're talking about New York City, I'm certainly going to be speaking out in support of everyone, but particularly those who are most impacted. In New York City, when it comes to hate crimes, it happens to be the Jewish community. You will hear me obviously talking about Islamophobia as well. And there are a few things to point out. One is I chair the Jewish caucus in the city council. So I have an extra responsibility as the person meeting all into the Jewish elected officials to speak out and be policy based on that. Secondly, last week I was appointed co-chair of the hate crimes task force along with the only Muslim member of the city council. And so we are going to be working together. We don't know what the work looks like yet, but we will certainly be working together to make sure that there are these difficult conversations happening. And in fact, I was a councilor that got an extra $250,000 in the Acres Initiative, not for the Jewish community, not for the Muslim, not for the Christian, but specifically for organizations that do that very, very critical work of bridging communities and bringing communities, disparate communities who wouldn't otherwise talk, bringing them together. I'm sponsoring the Bronx Fellowship Against Hate. I encourage all of you to apply. It's being sponsored by me, by the Mayor's Office, by the Office of Prevention of Hate Crimes, and is being conducted, I think, by the Riverdale Y. I encourage all of you to check out that program, and if you fit the bill, you should apply to that program. Now, when it comes to Israel, if you're asking me my personal opinion, I believe the Israelis have a right to exist in peace. I believe people in Gaza have a right. So, okay. So you would hear the words coming out of my mouth was exactly that. And you don't have to interrupt me to say with what I am saying right now. Now, like, the question is, I think any amount of death is awful, right? I'm interested to know what Hamas is not reporting. Hamas, of course, is the terrorist organization that, as you know, on October 7th broke the ceasefire. We had one place, or they had one place. There was a ceasefire in place which Hamas broke. And in order to kill babies, in order to kill, live create the deaths of grandmothers on their own Facebook pages, to kidnap hundreds of Israelis, people celebrating a concert.
This is, sorry, excuse me. I'm sorry, everyone, but they could.
Happy to talk to you. Yeah, so I'll share my opinion. So, and of course, so the kidnaps, the kidnapping, and I'm not, I thank you, wasn't there, intellectual expert, but I believe that countries like Israel have the right to defend itself. And right now, if you want to international law, there is a debate there. There's proportionality. Okay, thank you. Well, I'll leave it at this. I think death anywhere is better. I think that countries have the right to defend themselves. I believe that Hamas broke the ceasefire every single time. I believe that Israel has a right to get their hostages back. I believe they have the right to take on Hamas, and I believe that they are telling the civilians where and when they are bombing their things, the buildings. And you can talk about the hospitals. If Hamas wouldn't store all of their missiles and guns in the hospitals, I think it would be a very different story. If they did store their missiles in schools and in libraries and things like that, it would be a much different story. But that's what they are doing. That's what Hamas is doing. And that's, of course, Geneva Convention, international law is breaking that. So we go back and forth. And then I'm talking outside.
This is for me, what I do invite everyone to do is have a conversation, and it's something that we want to talk about, and we feel strongly about. What I recommend, email the board, maybe we can have a hearing, maybe we can have a public session with people that want to talk, that want to have this discussion, not necessarily on the board, because there's a lot of implications, and people have different feelings, for all walks of life. And including me that I'm Jewish, I'm not Muslim, in different ways, but I do welcome a conversation with everyone who has questions. So we can work around and do some type of time zone that we can have conversations for everyone. For yourself, as an educator, if you want, maybe we can hold me to disagree. Happens. Are you okay?
Thank you.
Remember. Do we have anyone here from the George Alvarez? Anyone here from Assembly Manager?
Hello, y'all. Nice to see everybody again in the new year. Happy for everybody. Thank you very much for having me back. I know that everybody had a nice holiday season and a good start to the year. In general, I know the first thing that I talked about last time, when I went to the holiday break when I was here, and wanted to inform you all, was these been, that we got the Bronx, the Henry Hudson Toll Bridge rebate, for all Bronx residents that have a funded easy pass, as well as, their cars registered in the Bronx. I didn't necessarily at that time have an effective date as to when that was going to go into place. So I just want to, kind of tell you guys that that goes into effect on February 3rd. There was an oversight by the MTA that originally by accident had excluded some zip codes. So that was just an oversight in the state. I know that they have worked to correct that, to make sure that it's for all Bronx residents. But we've been putting that on our social media as well as other things, and apologize for that happening. But February 3rd, 2024, all Bronx residents that have a vehicle, their vehicle registered in the Bronx, as well as a fully funded easy pass, will be able to go across the Henry Hudson Bridge and receive that rebate instantly. I just wanted, I know that I talked about last time, but I just wanted to give you all the dates of that. So that is good news. And if you need any more information, I've left flyers over there, that, you're more than welcome to take it. That has more information as well as parking numbers, all of this. Just two bills that I think that we should highlight that, the Assembly is very, very passionate about, when it comes to this upcoming legislative session, all these in Albany. One of the big ones to be introduced, kind of right around the holidays, was the A3289, which is the enact restrict insurrectionists from office, the Riot Act, which essentially prohibits a person convicted of rebellion or insurrection against the authority of the United States or laws thereof. This is kind of similar to those that have been following the news to what Colorado and Maine have done to try to restrict the former president from being able to run. So that was a bill that we had introduced in that the Assembly had introduced in the Assembly that is currently in committee. That is definitely a priority and something that he is passionate about. As a constitutional, somebody a leader in the Constitution. And something else that we had a press conference for last week was a 1940, which relates to the statute of limitations of actions related to certain sex trafficking offenses. So essentially, the goal of this bill was to extend the statute of limitations of actions related to certain sex trafficking offenses, providing such actions otherwise barred by the existing statute of limitations, granting a trial preference to such actions and exempting such actions from certain provisions. I know that sounds like a little bit of a word jumble. Essentially, what that means is that the statute of limitations for people that commit these acts is currently at like 5 years. This would make it something where somebody that commits horrible atrocities such as this could be prosecuted at any time. We had a press conference with Manhattan District Attorney Alan Bragg, as well as State Senator Cordell Clear last week. That it was very important and imperative. The Assembly kind of shed light on this, as he's been quite a champion for this issue and human trafficking as a whole, to kind of address and help that issue best. But those were two of the legislative things that we, that I know that he was very passionate about, and hopefully, to push through the Assembly in this upcoming legislative session. And again, if anybody has any questions on the total rebate stuff, I asked stuff on the table over there, as well as anything I here. But either way, thank you all. I'm excited for happy 2024 and thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jane.
3289 for anybody that didn't hear the insurrection bill. Number 3289. Yeah.
I didn't hear everything you said about the insurrection bill. Is that directly related to the idea that a certain, not my former president, not on the ballot in 2024 for the state of New York? Is that where the insurrection bill or is it larger?
Oh, yeah, it's a state. It's a state. Yes. Yeah. Anybody else?
Thank you, James.
Yeah, thank you.
And next we have our Bronx Borough President.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much to Community Board 7, to our district manager, to our board chair, to the executive committee, to all of our community members, elected officials, and staff. Great to be here at the general board meeting of Community Board 7. And I also want to say Happy New Year. Many of you I will not have seen in these last several weeks as we start this new year. The new year of beginning, of new opportunities, of new partnerships, of new initiatives. I want more in 2024. I am excited to be here. Thank you for the incredible work that all of you do each and every day. At the Bronx Borough President, I am beginning my third year office, third on behalf of the really interesting things with this world that we're here, you can business and raise your family. I am always grateful to be among family, friends, community, allies, advocates, champions, so many of you that do this work each and every day. And we begin this new year with a sense of renewed energy to make sure that we're doing our very best to serve the residents of our borough. 12 community boards, all 600 members that serve as community board members from community board 1 all the way to community board 12. So as we are beginning the new year, I'm making a greater effort to get around to all of our community boards, to talk to the residents, to give you updates on behalf of our office, but our community boards unit and our director is here again. Here is here with me tonight. Kiara has been amazing. She formerly served as the district manager at CP8. And we want to make sure that as we build out our office and our team, we are making sure that we bring individuals that are committed, that are dedicated, that will continue to add balance in our office. So formerly, our director is here. He's now the senior advisor in our office. Kira is the director of the community board. We have staff that are within the unit. Each is assigned to a community board or community boards. So we are always trying to make sure that we're present in the meetings, but equally as important, making sure that we work closely with our district manager and our board chair to support the community boards. So in 2 years, many often ask, what have we done? So we were very intentional with making sure that we continue to recruit the very best to join our community boards. As young as 16 years old, any recruitment at the level, making sure that we can bring on young people, 16, 17, and 18, making sure that they have a seat at the table and they are a part of conversations that bring change to our community, because we know that all of this work is about the next generation of leaders. So we have been adamant about recruitment, and this year we're doing the same. We also made the application electronic because we wanted to make sure that we are embracing technology. We're reducing our reliance on paper, and we also wanted to make sure that as we digitize the application, we really make it more accessible. We are the first borough out of the 5 in the city to provide our application in more than one language. So excited to say that. Is it English? No. Reflection of this borough, of the diversity of who we are and what we represent. So the applications just went online a few days ago on our website. We're using media, different modes of communication to share that, so that this year's applications, we get a lot of applicants that want to join. We're working with the members of team, we're working with the leadership of C7 to make sure that any vacancies that we have on 7, we're able to recruit the very best. We've been very particular about looking geographically across each community board, making sure that we bring diversity when it comes to profession, experience, urban planners, architects, first responders, nurses, social workers, guidance, veterans, residents that live in public housing, homeowners, tenants, members of the LGBTQIA+ community, people with disabilities. We want to make sure that everyone feels connected to our 12 boards. So that process is underway. You all know about the
It was also instituted last year as a result of our reforms, because we want to set the highest level of standard when it comes to what we expect of every member of our community board. We have many serve, unpaid, volunteer, serving in the community, and we want to make sure that everyone sees this work. It's really sometimes disappointing when I have to talk to media about some of the negative things that happen instead of all the great positive things. It's like no one wants to read about that. About community boards that are meeting, talking about projects, development, new schools, new parks, new playgrounds. I'm excited about that. I'm excited when we get new parks, get new playgrounds, even an elevator at the subway station is exciting for me because it recognizes subways, to our buses, our mass transit, and that's important. So I'm really excited about all of this. And as we begin this new year, we're also making sure that we're talking about a lot of the projects that are before our borough, specifically for 7. You all know Councilmember Diego Sanchez, myself, the Assemblywoman Tapia, the Senator Robert Jackson, Congressmember Adriana Pispaya. We are working with EDC, we're working with CP7 to reimagine the Kingsbridge Armory. So excited about the possibilities. We have a number of proposals submitted to the city, and we will come together with a plan. We got 4,000 ideas from residents all across the borough of the city about what they envision for the armory. And I know many have said, Ms. Gibson has been around this block 20, 30 years. We've not seen a real plan. You are going to see a real plan this time around. Third time's the charge. This community and this project, women at the table. And that's the difference. Like, we're gonna make it happen. The council member and all the electeds are really excited. We're looking at different ideas, jobs, economic development, small businesses, supporting our entrepreneurs, vertical farming, so many things that we know that we need from an equity and justice perspective. So be on the lookout for that. As you know, the website is together Kingsbridge. You can get updates, you can sign up for newsletters. We're doing a lot to make sure that this is a real vibrant plan that we can all embrace. And then we have other housing projects that we'll be picking out in the CB7. But I'm really excited about working with all of you on many of these projects when we talk about the West Bronx and the Northwest Bronx. And so once we get through the application process, the new applicants for reappointments for 1 and 2 year terms, we will have the orientation again, just as we did last year for the new members that joined us in 2023. Last year, we also had a summer event. That's something that we are committed to doing again. We realize you don't always get the recognition you deserve. And I appreciate all of you as your borough president for doing this work, for serving your community and representing the children and families in your community. That's what public service is all about. We can do the work. We don't all need a title to do the work. And if you do the work, the title will come. And if you realize that we are all better together, when we align together, we truly can make transformative change, we can truly make an impact, and really make a difference. So one thing I want to share with all of you as we talk about the work we're doing, initiatives that are being spearheaded out of our office have a borough-wide impact, but very relevant to CB7. Every other day in this borough, we are seeing a fire. A residential fire, a commercial fire, something is happening, whether it's electrical, it's accidental, it's related to lithium-ion batteries, a lot of bills that we've passed at the council, at the federal level, the Congress member really have led this effort, and with FDNY, Laura telling the commissioner all the time, talking about what we can do better. So we're embarking on a series of fire education and safety workshops all over the borough, and we're starting this Saturday, January 27th, at 11 o'clock at the Bronx Zoo. And we are providing free access to all of the exhibits at the Bronx Zoo if you come to the workshop.
We want to make sure that people see that the need is there, but also we want to educate folks. What do we do if there's a fire? What are our escape plans? Where's the fire escape? What stairwell do we use? How do we make sure that if we get disconnected from a relative, we have a meeting location outside? A lot of the questions we often ask, and we may or may not have the answer. In a split-second decision, we may not be able to think about all the things I learned in that workshop. So we're doing our part to make sure that we equip everyone with as much information as possible. FDNY, American Red Cross, also free home installations of focal alarm is ongoing with the Red Cross. We're happy to help facilitate that as well. And then the second component we're working on is a event for everyone actually. I thought it would be for just our older adults, but it's actually for everyone. The Department for the Aging is joining us and we're doing a seminar on living wills, on trust and power of attorney. Because oftentimes we don't have a plan. We have an emergency, someone may pass away, there is sort of an emergency and we don't understand needs, trust, will, health proxy, beneficiaries, life insurance, end of life planning. So DIFA is going to give us information. Now, it happens to be tomorrow, sorry about that, on Wednesday, the 24th, 11 a.m. in our Rotunda at Borough Hall, but this is just the first. We will do another one in the evening to accommodate working families so that you're able to attend. But most importantly, we want to make sure that we give you as much information as possible. The final thinking workshop I talked about is this Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then we are extremely dedicated to reducing the unemployment rate in this borough. During the highest point of COVID in 2020, we were at 25.6%, almost 26% unemployment rate. A lot of residents lost their job, lost wages, lost their income. We are at 6.5 today in 2024. So we are still leading among 5 boroughs, still have the highest unemployment rate. So not only am I in competition with my fellow borough presidents, but I'm also adamant about creating jobs. So with that, February 15th is a Thursday, we're hosting a job fair with the State Department of Labor at Bronx Borough Hall at 851 Grand Concourse. I encourage you, if you know someone that is in need of employment, job, careers, because job and careers are 2 different things. We're looking at career pathway, but we also know that residents need jobs as well. So we look at it from both angles. And the Department of Labor has an extensive resume of employers. We're also going to have some employers that will be doing on the job hiring right after the event. We want to make sure that residents are connected to jobs, emerging careers like tech and healthcare and research and life sciences, a lot of things that we don't always have access to. The final thing I'll say is this is our blueprint as administration, our strategic policy plan. The members of our executive board have it. It's on our website. This is a plan that we created in September of 2022 in accordance with the New York State Charter. This is our guide to how we are going to transform the borough. From reimagining the Kingsbridge Armory to the work that we're doing in the Huntington and produce market, to reimagining Orchard Beach and the work we're doing at the Pavilion, to the 4 new Metro North stations, $3 billion we're getting in the East Bronx, to all of the housing projects, construction, all of the economic development projects that are underway. And we are determined to make a difference in this borough because we will not accept that the Bronx will lead in anything bad and last in everything good. When it comes to health disparities, when it comes to jobs and programs, I refuse to accept the narrative that the Bronx does not represent the best. With everyone that I'm going to talk to, from members of Congress to our government and our mayor, that if there's any opportunity for money, the Bronx needs to be at the table. And if you look at what we have done in 2 years, we have highlighted money loans, grant programs for businesses. We got an energy sustainability grant for Bronx Community College a few months ago for $1 million from the New York Power Authority. We are not afraid. There is too much at stake when you think about homelessness and so many young people that don't have access to programs. When it comes to after school, cornerstone, and programs that make a difference. So I am excited as we begin this new year. And I know it's challenging, there is a lot happening, but I am excited because all of you are with us when it comes to this work. We are in partnership, the elected officials, community residents, all of our CEOs, Monroe College, our hospitals, the 5-2 precinct, NYPD, everyone wants the borough to succeed. And when one of us can succeed, all of us can succeed. And so I leave you with this final message as we begin this new year. Know that the work of our community boards makes a difference. We have a lot of work to do, whether it's cannabis license, whether it's the city of gas, on economic opportunities and housing, all of the initiatives coming out of the state around retail therapy, retail fat, and maternal health care and housing, and so many projects that are being spearheaded in Albany and St. Paul and in Congress. We need to be a part of that. We will not allow anyone to make decisions without us being at the table. And the most democratic process, the most local way to get involved is the local community board. Everything starts with all of you. And before I think any of you learn the application, before anything comes to me, it comes to the community board first. So your decisions and what you do as a community are very important to the decisions I make. I normally love to stay in alignment with my CVs. There are times when I agree, there are times when we don't agree. But one thing I'm clear on is I want to always make decisions that are in the best interest of the entire borough. And so, like I always say, it's not personal. This is about looking at what we can do to make sure that our next generation has a better future than all of us. So I thank all of you for your work, for your service. Thank you again to our district manager, to our board chair, and everyone here on our executive team. And I look forward to working. And if you need anything from our office, please reach out. We have a website, social media, lots of different channels where you can access us. And we look forward to the work ahead during this new year. Thank you, everyone. Next, we have Assembly Member Joseph Carroll.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Happy New Year. Glad to be here with all of you guys tonight. Just wanted to share some talking points about what we're working on moving forward. The assembly member in our office is in the final stages of finalizing our 12-month calendar for community events. I can tell you some of the events to look out for in the coming weeks, so please stay tuned to our social media platforms and email blasts for flyers and more information. We're also starting mid-February where we will do once a week a free tax prep service at our office. This is by appointment only, and we'll have more information for you soon. I know everybody is also interested in the shredding events. They will begin in April, and this is because that's when generally the shredding events begin with DSNY. And then our office is also in partnership with NIBC to offer housing specialists that comes to our office twice a month. This specialist can help with all of your housing needs. This service is by appointment only. So please call our office at 718-409-0109 to schedule an appointment. And then February 3rd, we'll be doing a food giveaway and the location will be announced soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Next we have a second member in the Democratic's office. The council member Oswald Police's office.
Hello, everyone. Happy New Year, everyone. I'm from Councilmember Albert Reed's office. The Councilmember office is located at 533 East Corner Road on Humphrey Street. Hours are from 10 to 5 now. Those that have an immigration lawyer, 5 appointments only, pretty session now. Also, the council member was chair of the small business committee. So if you want to know more about our legislation, you can hit up our legislative director, Guillermo Rodriguez at R. Rodriguez at council.nyc.gov. Also, we're going to be having a tax person coming into our office from Monday to Thursday. Not sure on the dates yet, so you can come by our office. I believe it's for people that live in the district. You can call our office at 718-842-8100. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you, George. Next, we have Robert Clark from Success Academy. Right, moving on, Rodney Smith from Children of Bronx. Right, moving on, we have Shauna Collington. I apologize for the name.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Keyshawn Howardson. I am from the Juice Board. I'm the project director. And we recently received 2 Sam's federal grants for certified community behavioral health clinics, one for Manhattan and one for the Bronx. And I'm here today because I intended to inform the board of our application for an Oasis license to extend our services. The CCBHC is the evidence-based model to have behavioral health and mental health services in one place, right? Instead of receiving, let's say, therapy over here and case management over here, we have case management services, we have case coordination, and in our second year, part of the grant is to provide substance use disorder services. We currently have a substance use disorder clinic in Brooklyn with the CCBHC in Brooklyn. We have one in Staten Island, they're growing. They're SUG clinic, and currently in the Bronx clinic, we are located at 2488 Grand Concord. We provide injectables already for some treatment for SUV, and we intend to expand our services for the community. We are currently building our community advisory board as well. So if anybody is interested, I have flyers on the table that look like this with contact information. It provides a detail about what we are, what we do right now is the outpatient mental health clinic. And we have ACT Pros. We even have an early childhood treatment center. We provide services for the lifespan from 0 to expiration. We provide services to we have support services such as bereavement. We have a registered care program that provides like concrete referrals into the community, and we are also looking to expand our community partnerships portfolio at the Juice Board. We are one of the largest human service agencies organizations in New York City, and we are proud of our work. So, thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we have Patrice Wallace from the Harlem State.
Good evening, everyone. I'm coming here today to thank you for giving us an opportunity to speak. And tonight it's with great concern that I speak with you about allowing a dispensary, cannabis dispensary to be placed at location 3584 Jerome Ave. I am CEO of Arms Incorporated, an alcohol and substance abuse treatment program, and I am here with my Director of Outpatient Operation and Quality, Tice Mitchell. Our outpatient program is and has been located at 3584 Jerome Avenue since 2006. Yes, that is the same address as the proposed location of the dispensary. I understand this may provide revenue to the community, but I am greatly concerned about the impact of putting this next to a place where people are trying to get help for their alcohol and drug use. People who come to our program have often fought hard and long to recover from the disease of addiction. Most are still fighting, as the battle is one they fight every day. It's one that our staff fight. When you lose people to this disease, the passion to provide a safe space for help oozes through your pores. Many might think cannabis is harmless, and to some it may be. But for others, it can be a gateway or relapse trigger that can lead to more severe use of other drugs and overdose. In a time when overdose numbers are increasing in New York State, it is hard enough for our patients to struggle daily and then have to walk past this dispensary every day. And this will be a huge challenge that they shouldn't have to battle. Many of our patients also bring their families for meetings and sessions. And many of these family members include children who have been traumatized by their family members' drug and alcohol use. How much more traumatizing would it be for them to walk past this dispensary while going to participate in treatment with their father or mother? Is this what we want our community to represent? Is this what we want our children to experience? What message are we sending to them? There is also a shelter across the street, and Montefiore has an OTP on the same block, and this creates challenges for them as well. We ask you to do the right thing. We ask that you consider the hard work of our patients and staff and the great risk of the proximity of this dispensary to our program. We understand cannabis is legal in our state. We understand it brings taxable revenue to the local municipalities. Thus, we understand this is a business decision. But for some, it's not a business decision. For some, it's a life or death decision. We hope today you choose by your vote to save someone's life. Thank you for your time.
Next, we have Sabrina Castro from Montefiore Community Center.
Hello. So I'm Sandra Sarah from Montefiore Community Center. I work with the NDA programs that stands for Neighborhood Development Area, Response, Crime Prevention, and Safety Awareness. So I have a flyer. We are currently looking for community members to join our council as well. This focuses, like I said, on crime prevention and safety just within the community, within the NDA, right? So our NDA is actually outlined on this flyer, and we're here representing. And I'll pass it over to Dominic.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dominic Smith. I am the convention manager. I oversee Restorative Justice Program. It's one of the programs. I'm out trying to recruit youth between the ages of 18 and 24. We have a free OSHA class coming up. And the reason that I came out is because one of the things that the young lady said is we are not even able to get 25 youth to take this program and sit still for 7 days. So now I'm reaching out to the community to try to find some young people that's committed to sit for 7 days, 6 hours straight, to get the certificate. Now, they don't have to have a GED. We already paid for the class. The class is $12,000 that we took out our city funding budget. So I'm reaching out to the community to see if y'all can have some students and young people that want a job, because with this certificate, they can get up to $20 to $30 an hour with no high school diploma or no college degree. So this is something that the youth need. Flyers and information is over here. I thank everybody for this. Thank you.
Some question is, what's the
It's the OSHA 30.
OSHA for what? You have construction, you have
Well, it's the whole thing, so it's posted 30 with the flag, so they can go to the construction site, and this is the certificate that they need to actually step on the construction site. So it'll cover the whole thing.
You got a business loan? That's the minimum, right?
Yes, that's the minimum.
You have a day when it's done?
Well, we gonna get the date, it's already paid for, we'll get the 25 students.
Oh, good.
And the class will be held in March.
Yes, they will, 3450 DeKalb Avenue. Thank you.
Well, it's
Yes,
paid
it's
for.
paid.
Yeah. Well, which class? Okay, here. My bishop actually. Should we ask this person?
Good evening, everyone. My name is May Fisher. I'm the Executive Director of the Woodlawn Conservancy at the Woodlawn Cemetery, just down the road from Avenue, Webster Avenue, 233rd Street. I'm here today to share some news with you. Last year, the Woodlawn Conservancy received a grant from the New York State DPC of $94,000, 100 large canopy trees at Woodlawn, and it's part of an environmental justice grant that DPC is implementing. And here to ask community support as we apply for another environmental justice grant. This one will probably be about 300 to 400 $400,000 being to take care of our urban forests at the Woodlawn Cemetery. We're home to 6,000 trees. If you know Woodlawn, we're bordered by the New Jersey Expressway and Bronx Parkway, so we have one of the highest rates of diesel particulate matter in the air, and we feel very strongly to make a difference and try to ease that environmental burden. And so these grants will greatly assist in that as we continue to make our urban forests available. One of the things we also do at Woodlawn is train the young generation of environmental stewards. We have a landscape restoration program, and the students in our landscape restoration program will be participating in these grant activities, learning from the professionals that come on site to do the tree work, and we'll do a little bit of sort of low hanging fruit, tree fun, work on some of the projects as well. So we hope that will support our continued work to make our forests better. Woodlawn is open every day to public. 8:30 to 4:30 p.m. Our maps are on the table and our newsletters are there as well. So we hope you will come take advantage of our 17 miles of trails, the beautiful trees, our wonderful funerary arts, and that we will continue to make the Bronx a little bit cleaner. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Keisha Williams.
Good evening. Last time, I know we talked about the budget cut and the numbers that were under renovations that weren't going to be opening because of the cut. That's Melrose and Hunts Point. On Monday, February 15th, we received news that the libraries will be exempt from the additional budget cuts of 5% for the mid-year. The cuts from November will remain in place, which affects Sunday service, reduced collection facilities, and control hiring. Additionally, we are likely to still face reduction for the next fiscal year, 2025. On February 7th, librarian staff will be going from NYPL, BPL, and Queens will be going up to Albany to lobby to state electors just to let them know the importance of libraries and how libraries benefit the community. Starting on the 29th, BLC will be having free tax prep from 10 to 1, Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays until evening.
Next, we have AJ Roberts.
Well, it's very good for the minutes so that we call for societies or dying into these figures out of work. But promotion ADC, I don't ask. Please, new hire about my complaints about Edgar Betty and the board's backlog of FOIA requests. With that, I wish to formally address the issue of public censorship in these meetings, as I've been informed once again that the public can only speak at the chair of this discussion, even at the committee level. Having filed previous complaints about the chairs and executive members, including Edgar Ramos and Betty Larson, and challenging this policy and these practices because they contradict our American values of democracy, but also oppose the controls of other community boards that will run to at these meetings. Please check the minutes and the videos. Right to free expression, streets, and redress the grievances of religious expressed by the board. I think they are unacceptable. I think that inaction is an action. Despite the required warnings, reverting evidence to their old practices, the current DM is not saying that she was not responding to the audit. District Manager Bravo was, and the past leadership was. If they have failed to properly apprise, address, and improve the report of the finance, you just have to change. This plus the recent censorship and whistleblower retaliation against me, I find extremely odd and troubling, especially the board's inability to provide this in written documentation for me. Basically, pulling out of air, providing sources to cite where they're enforcing this only chair's discretion to the public. This is not 1984. New speak and golf crimes are not real. They should be fictional. Dissenting and diverse opinion should go. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vijay. Next we have Values Mitchell. Next we have Jane Anderson.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jane Anderson Amoya from the Mushroom Library. My colleague from Ghost Library Center already said everything that I was supposed to plan, but I will let everyone know that we're still offering free after school program for children from 6 to 12, students from 6 to 12. So feel free to stop by. We also offering in-person programs for all ages. So you're also welcome. Our hours are still the same. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. Next we have Nancy Moore.
Hi, everyone. I think most of my stuff to learn as a leader. I don't need to say, but since we have a leader additional representation today, one thing that I want to bring our attention to is private drug addiction, which I have brought on this again. There are a lot of small shops around. I actually live in this bridge in your area. And if you walk around the school or the neighborhood in general, you're going to at least see 4 to 5 smoke shops, which are dangerous for students, which are dangerous for elderly, for everyone. Drug addiction is bad. Another thing we want to talk about, where is the drug addiction coming from? Mental health. 2024, it's not a joke. Mental health illness exists, and I would like to see our elected official acknowledging our needs and working towards closing down those smoking shops, especially considering they're right nearby schools. And last time we had our board meetings at a school, our principal expressed that they're closely being affected by it. So if we were there for those meetings, please take notes, and I expect our representative and politician, which I think, to stay here at the end. Otherwise, that is disrespect of us public time, because we're here to communicate our needs. We're doing the research for you. You just have to acknowledge it and work towards it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Carla. Thank you, everybody. I know it's lengthy. I know it's 8 o'clock or 8 o'clock. So I'm gonna try to move this as fast as possible so we can get to our nitty-gritty stuff on our agenda, and then we can move on to adjourn. So we're gonna move on to district manager's update.
Just very quickly, the community board applications are open, so when I already mentioned it, please let them know. There's only 2 meetings that you need to attend a month. So if there is a meeting of about 6 hours, will be emails. Please let everyone know to apply. Please Google City of Yes for Housing Opportunity. It's never too early to start learning about what the amendments are. And they have a lot of different workshops. It seems that they're breaking the amendments down by subject, so please make an effort to attend the public workshops. We have a lot of financial services on public service. Please go by extremely affordable, about $5 to $10 a piece. Please help us in the audience. We're open Monday to Friday, from 9 to 5. We're open in person at 2298 East Ward Street. And we're available on Fridays, from 9 to 5. And that concludes my updates.
Dear Connie, we move on to my reports as the chair. Just 2 quick things we discussed already. The community board application, if you know the neighbor, the student, your children are 16 and older, anyone that wants to be committed to being a part of this process, encourage them to go online and join. So that's one part. Second part for my board members, Karen does a great job of giving me lots of information. So she reminded me of the CEP trainings. CEP is the Civic Engagement Commission. They send out emails for training. So my push is for all of our board members to join the trainings. They're important, they're informative, they help in this process. To the public, if you can join them as well, it gives you an idea of what we do, who we are, what the process is for us, and how we engage the community at large. So those are the 2 things for me today. Moving on, we're going to take, I'm taking off my chair and putting on my co-secretary. I'm going to take the roll call for today. So for CD7, attendance, here we go. Lily Sacosta was absent. Thank you, Betty Arthur. Jahira Arias is present. Emmanuel Samoa. Eric Asensio. Present. Michelle Avila. Damaris Barbosa. Toby Buford. Major Shahuri. Kimali Corley. Sandra Erickson. Hugo Gonzalez. Alfred Grant. Laura Green. Leslie Harrison.
Harrison present.
Thank you. Helen Kanowski.
Present.
Jean Hill. Mama Bourgeois. Andrew Leosa. Rosalie Leslie. Jesus Lopez Jensen. Jenny Medina. Pascal Moore. Marianne Panacoli. Diana Peña. Daisy Perry. Edgar Ramos. Janelle Robinson. Christiana Robles. Robin Milan. Thank you. Chagrier. Thank you. Mamadou Sawane. Carlos Sosa. Samantha Sabates. Barbara Stronser. Gwendolyn Thomas-Steed. Adeline Walker Santiago. Jake Wilson.
Present.
And Bernard Wright. And with that, we have the forum so we can conduct board visits. Okay, moving on, we had in December, we had a nomination for secretary, and that was Ms. Eileen Harmon Kanowski. She's sitting at the very end of our table here to my left. We are going to ask if there's any abstentions, and we're going to pass a vote for her. I'm going to pass them to.
I cast one vote for the entire community board to
appoint Clean, our next secretary. Do we have a second?
Yes.
Any discussion? All in favor? Anybody opposed? Abstentions? Congratulations, Olivia. Congratulations, Olivia. We will help you all the way through and being the secretary of the board. Okay, next we're moving on to the review of previous month's minutes. It's in your packet. We made a couple. Give you a minute or so. Just to give you feedback, this starts on page 4. And with that being said, everybody okay? Move on. Okay. So do I have a second? Do we have a second? Okay. So with that being said, Tasha Andrews. Motion to approve the minutes. Betty Arson. Jahira Arias was yes. Manola was absent. Eric Ezekiel. Michelle Arias absent. The member was absent. Toby Buford. Kamala Corey. Hugo Gonzalez. Will Green. Motion of this members minutes. Leslie Harrison. Kelly Martinowski. Thank you, Jean Hill. Thank you. Joe is absent. Andrew Leosa. Thank you. Rosalie Leslie. Jesus Lopez Jensen. Thank you. Jenny Medina is absent. Ozzy Moore. Thank you. Marianne Parafeliz. Diana Peña. Daisy Perry. Thank you. Edgar Ramos. Jenna Robinson is absent. Christiana Robles. Robin Roland. Chad Ray. Andre is absent. Carlos is absent. Samantha Suarez. Barbara Stronzer. Brother Thomas B is absent. No, I won't listen to him. Absent. Jake Wilson.
Jake Wilson approved.
Thank you. Motion passed. Okay, moving on. Okay, so we have three motions on our packet. First one, it comes from the executive committee. However, I'm going to give some feedback. This motion was originally presented at the health. However, they did not have quorum. Therefore, the motion was moved over by our rules to the executive committee. Now, I want to put on record that there was a lot of discussion for this motion. And in this packet, pages 50, start on page 15, and then 19 through 30, I'm going to give an explanation of the actual motion and the presentation that came from the cannabis adult use of retail dispensary licensing application. So this gives us a background of what this process looks like coming from the state. And we know it's not the most popular, but it is here. These are things that are happening. These are things, conversations, and things that are coming to our board, and we have to be mindful of them. Okay, with that being said, Is anyone from the health committee, who was president of the health committee, or the exec want to add more to it? Anyone else? Betty?
I, just as, the chair has, indicated, it was a difficult, it was a difficult discussion. We went back and forth on the merits and the concerns raised by all of us. Having heard from one of the, I think it's one of the tenants in the building, we also took that into consideration, the proximity to a facility that also works with individuals who have substance abuse or alcohol abuse issues, and how this might impact on their continued recovery or any influence on them. So it was really a hard decision to come to. We consider the fact that it is far enough away from a school, not far enough away for many of us, but at least it meets the requirements for distance, and as well as a house of worship. Again, these are businesses that are going to occur, and we'd rather have a regulated business like this rather than the ones that are now in our community that are legal. These are regulated by the state. The product has to be produced and regulated within the state, whereas right now those that are you see throughout our neighborhoods are not regulated. It's just like the first cannabis shop in our community or in our borough that is regulated. So it is a very hard decision to make. I'm not pro or against use of cannabis. I'm saying, as the chair said, this is going to be happening. So let's try to come up with something that's doable. And that's all I wanted to say, that, you know, we really thought about it very, very carefully. I don't even remember the set of questions.
The motion stands on page 19, and it reads, Bronx Community Board 7 to consider sending a letter of support to the Office of the Establishment for Adult Use license at 3584 Jerome Avenue, Bronx, New York, 11467. Do I have a second to continue the discussion? Thank you, Jean. With that being said, we did bring up Ron Acres, and we're glad that they came here today. That was part of the discussion because we had a map of the other businesses and other things in this area, so that did come into our discussion. And we did do the very best that we could as an executive board to come to a consensus of this motion, and this is why we are presenting it to the board today. It wasn't easy. It was, like I said, we had a lot of discussions back and forth. So that would be it. If anyone wants to have some questions, I'm gonna open the floor for that. Tony?
Is it the address is 35, 34, 58? Can you say the address?
The address is 3584 Jerome Avenue. Around the corner, but if you read the packet, this applicant is meeting the criteria that the state is providing. So that's something we unfortunately cannot fight because they're following the procedures that the state has put in place. So our action here is to consider sending a letter of support to the Office of Cannabis Management and Office of Cannabis.
And just so to tell you the distances, dispensary, it has to be 500 feet or more away from the school, and 200 feet or more away from a face-to-face organization. And that 200 feet away from any establishment that services the youth. And that's how they measure the distance.
Lasciamo stare a Google.
Checks like every 5, 6 years, every 10 years.
To be honest, I don't know. This is all new to all of us. All we're being told is they have to be a specific feet away from certain schools and certain businesses. How the state is gonna continue to check on these businesses, to be honest, and I don't want anyone to be confused. We don't know what's happening.
I get your point, so in a sense, it's like, it's going to be the same process as the liquor licenses. And that's something that we don't know, but it's, whoever wants to bring a school nearby, will probably have to canvass the space, and so that there is a dispensary already within the neighborhood, and that is the rule. And if it's a state based organization, the dispensary that already, is established, with things, and should really take that into consideration. If it's already established. But that's part of the procedure to see how are they going to renew this license, how often people have to apply for them. So we know that the liquor licenses, they have to renew those licenses every 2 years. And I guess for this process, we can.
Yes, ma'am.
Right, so I'm not sure if you know, but we 32. And it's the same exact 35 feet. If you get the bill, you're welcome. Yeah.
Thank you. Andrew?
So we have pretty strong position. I don't hear anybody is saying this is like the perfect. This is a good place, it's just like. It's a place. I as a community board member feel for my community, if a member is so much against it, that don't have within proximity, people with way my favorite, when I'm cooking, I'll give it a I don't say why this company, whether
Fourth of line, we have Google Maps, all of us that were there at the executive can vouch for that. We went back and forth as to the proximity to that location and the location of schools. When we all had questions, we all had a lot of little like issues with it.
I actually, I know it's important to have a legal.
In the mic,
cannabis establishment. I know it's important to have a legal establishment, I know a lot of work is done, but working with people with substance issues, to have the establishment in the building, when we're really hearing that they don't want it, the children are going in, it just feels like they just have to find a new location. You know, I feel bad about it, I wish they found another location. But it doesn't feel like the right thing to do.
I just, the thing that I have an issue with is that, did they not canvass the area and know that there was a substance abuse facility there? And so I feel like that's almost a disregard to knowing that you're sharing space with people who are trying to get help. The other thing is that I think the borough president had said something about this is gonna be, our county is gonna be positive. The Bronx has one of the highest rates for asthma. This is only going to accelerate that when you're having a place that is selling cannabis. I'm not for or against whether you smoke or not. I'm just saying it just, right now, in that area, I live in that area. So you have the struggle, just period, with them in that area. It's an area that has a high volume of substance abuse, period. It's a lot of drug trafficking that's going on there. That's illegal. So it's now you're gonna have something that's legal there. That's hard for when somebody's coming in newly trying to get themselves together. And I know I was a substance abuse counselor. So you have a lot of times when people are saying, well, it's just weed. That's a big thing for teens to grapple with now that it's legal and we're selling it and it's next to a place where people are trying to get themselves together. I don't understand if you canvass the area and this is where I want to do my business, I would have taken that into consideration. Like I had to take, is there a school nearby? Is there a church nearby? I would have to take into consideration that.
That's exactly what we're going on. If the location is an appropriate location for this type of business.
So we already came to that conclusion that it's not.
Right, I'm just saying with that.
So we are not sure if the person who submitted the application comes the area. We just received the application for that specific location. And that's what we're presenting to the rest of the board.
Well, I would think that would also be part of the requirements when you're looking to see what is the distance with a school or whatever, that would also be a requirement.
We got the information from the Office of Parents Management. The information they gave us was limited to the applicant, and I can speak for.
So, as a community board, we have done. We're reviewing this for its location. So we have done our homework. I went out there, I canvassed the area. I mapped, I created maps, the location. I reached out to our agents to make sure that they had input into the motion. So we have done, as a community board, we have done our homework to review the location, the proposed location. And this is what you're giving feedback.
So I'm sort of confused and I'm sort of at the tail of the conversation. Are they in the same building? So you're on the top floor and you're the next floor. So they here.
There, no one is there. The space is vacant and it's up for rent at the moment. So their proposed location is on Charles Avenue, Marcus Acres. It's within the same building, but their entrance is in 213.
Okay.
But it is same building.
I don't have to in my head what the exact location is, but I know for a fact that there are a lot of vacant properties up and down Jerome Avenue. So if there are all these vacant properties, why do they have to have that? Right.
We don't know specifically why. We were not given the previous we had. It was brought to the health committee. The health committee did not report. Like I said, it was moved on to executive. And
are they now?
Our due diligence to get the information to the board to come to a consensus and have an actual vote whether we want to consider sending a letter of support. I hear everybody, we all, even myself, battled with my vote because there's a lot of unanswered questions to it. So with that being said, I know a lot of people have more questions, but I'm going to take one last one and then we're going to move forward. And whatever the vote is, It's what we stand on as a community board, and we did our job. Okay, I'm sorry, Kathy?
She got to talk 3 times.
So all the illegal cannabis establishments don't operate the same as any other establishment. They have to have security. They cannot advertise openly that they're selling cannabis inside their building. So all the cartoons that you see on a illegal store, the cannabis leaf on the outside, all of that is something that you do not see in a legal establishment. And in your packet, I believe I added a picture of how a legal establishment would look like. So in those terms, they have fires. Page 29.
And they also have to, you have to show your ID, have to be above age, legal age, in order to enter this establishment.
And now you know another piece of information, which is the fact that Farm Acres serves youth. And that's also something that you can take into account to inform how you can.
Then you can vote 4 different ways, which is you approve, you oppose, you abstain, or you choose not to.
Okay, so let's go.
I don't think I know you have a
My question was, how many cannabis shops are already in the community? Communities are already flooded with them. Illegal ones. Yeah, illegal ones, it doesn't matter, it's all about rent. Renters, the owners trying to fulfill the establishments. That's all it's about, whether it's illegal or illegal. And the neighborhood is flooded with it. It's on every other corner. And it's not fair. And being that this here establishment is in the same place of a drug rehab, that's insane. It's like kicking a prick. You can't kick the prick. You're gonna bleed.
JT, and on page 30, there is how you can report illegal cannabis businesses in the district. At the moment, we do not have any legal dispensaries.
And where are these people? Are they here at the meeting? Where are these people? Are they here at the meeting? Were they here at the health meeting?
They attended the public hearing. I believe I shared that one week in prior to tonight's meeting, and that's what they listen to themselves. But there is a way that you can report illegal cannabis. Of course, they don't get closed as quickly, but they are getting closed. I have seen some stores closed already, especially on the Grand Home, so continue to report.
Okay.
With that being said, we're gonna take a vote because we have to, it's on our.
Yes.
Let's go. So we're going to take a vote and we'll read the motion once again. So we have the Bronx Community Board 7 to consider sending a letter of support to the Office of Cannabis Management for an adult use cannabis retail dispensary license at 3584 Jerome Avenue, Bronx, New York 10467. Do I have a second? The motion? Thank you, Samantha. Okay, and the vote is follows. Tasha Andrews. Betty Arce.
I'm going to vote yes.
The high rise votes no. Eric Asensio.
Both yes.
Toby Buford.
Votes no.
Kamali Corley. Hugo Gonzalez. Lowell Green. Leslie Harrison.
I vote no.
Helene Harmon Kadowski. Jean Hill,
Jean Hill votes no.
Andrew Leosa, Jesus Lopez Johnson, Kazi Moore, Mariam Parra Feliz, Taina Peña, Daisy Perry, Edgar Ramos, Cristiano Robles, Ron Roland, Chad Royer, Samantha Subates, Barbara Stronser,
Johnson votes no.
and Jake Wilson.
No.
The noes have it. And that is right here.
Thank you.
Moving on to motion B is from our Parks Committee. And I'll pass on to Bob.
Good evening, the motion from the Parks Committee to send a letter to Mayor Adams and Mr. Lewis, Reese, and Sanchez requesting that no cuts be made to the Parks Department budget. You may have read or heard that the mayor decided not to cut what the city called the opportunity program, which is a training program for people, jobs, with hope that eventually they will be full-time. However, the mayor still plans to cut the parks budget by 5%. We have 11 parks within Community Board 7, many new buildings going up, and we're asking for the board's support in sending this letter requesting that no cuts be made in our parks department budget. Is there a second? Thank you. Any comment on the discussion?
Parks need to be clean.
All right, we vote.
We'll vote on letter to the mayor and the city council. First, requesting no cuts be made to the Parks Department budget. Tasha Andrews. Betty Arce.
Yes.
Jahira Adams votes yes. Erica Santiago. Toby Buford. Kamali Corley. Hugo Gonzalez. Paul Green. Leslie Harrison.
Leslie Harrison, vote yes.
Eileen Harvey Kanowski.
Vote yes.
Jean Hill.
Jean Hill votes yes.
Andrew Leosa. Jesus Lopez Johnson. Cassie Moore. Maria Parra Feliz. Taina Peña. Daisy Perry. Edgar Ramos. Cristiano Robles. Robert Juan. Chad Royer. Samantha Subates. Barbara Stronser. Jake Wilson.
Jake Wilson votes yes.
Motion passes unanimously. Okay, moving on, to our last motion. And for this, we will need to go into executive session. The executive session just means, this conversation is gonna have to be with our board members only. So anybody, any members of the public, we're gonna ask you to, exclude yourselves, and wait for the public. Do I have a motion to executive session?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, the reason why we will be, selecting a candidate for the vacant position of community associate.
Come on, let's go, so we can, come on, get in late, folks. Move it. Let's go.
Hi, guys, we want to finish it down. I'm so sorry. If you're not on the board, please step outside if you want to. George, thank you. Bye. Board members, please. Start side. Thank you. So we're in executive session. So what we're here to discuss is the candidate for the community associate position, which is open. We found a candidate. Carla has done an amazing job in reading for this position. So she is the one in charge of it. And for the record, because I know there's some public residents who question our process, this is our process. We're doing everything the right way. We are not hiding anything from anyone. We're just going through the process that we normally do for any staff member that's being hired. I remind everybody because that's very important. We are mandated by PO standards of the paper when we become board members. So this is part of that as well. Okay, Carla?
I think this is thank you.
You need to get an idea of the board members are going to be added on to so we can actually get that.
And just to follow up on that, there's a lot of community boards who are coming together citywide to see how we can put together a workshop or something that will explain how this term limits work. What are they, and then what's the timeline? Because it seems a lot of people are confused, and a lot of people don't want to lose that institutional knowledge that's already in place, and they want to make sure that they know when that is coming, so you can start transcribing.
Yes, meeting No, currently. With that being said, do I have a motion to close? Yeah. Everyone?